Hey guys, how's it going? My name is Lois and welcome back to Stoneblock 2. In the last episode, we were working on, well, a couple of things. Mostly tinkers, trying to get some new tools, an iron pickaxe and an ironstone hammer, which let us, well, dig out this. Well, that's what I did between episodes, is I dug out, this is 20 blocks away from the center, and I just dug out a little room, put the sieves in there, did a little bit of sifting, have a bunch of compressed dirt, or not dirt, dust, and you just did some minor chores, just so we can get some resources, which I put all of those in here. So we have some ores kind of sitting around, and I've started using compressed hammers. These are really easy to make. They're just 9 hammers. It's easier to kind of, well, it's quicker to get the mass quantities of blocks because I can just make compressed cobblestone, turn that into gravel with the hammer, turn that into compressed gravel, turn that into dirt, and so on. So that's pretty much it. Now today's episode, we're going to be focusing on pretty much 2 things. The first thing I want to work towards is power storage. And that is going to require us, for at least the time being, I have some ideas of what I want to do long term. We're going to change things up a little bit from what we did in Stoneblock 1. But, yeah, I think what we're going to end up doing to begin with is use Mekanism power. Specifically the energy cube. Now, the other thing I want to do is I want to make our way to the mining dimension, which is up there. So we're going to just dig a hole, probably straight up, ladder up. That is probably all we'll do for that. I still don't know quite how big this room is going to be, and it's probably going to have like a basement area or an above area. And so I don't know where I want to have the ladder specifically, but we're just going to go with it. By the way, I fixed the FPS issue, and it was pretty much the same thing as before. If I look at, you know what? That's strange. Let's see, catalysts? No, what are they called? What are they called? Singularities. Yeah, so it was basically the same thing as before. I turned off animated textures, and that fixed everything. So, for whatever reason, and this is a known bug with the mod foam fix, I believe it was, the animated textures, it wants to render them all the time, and that causes a lot of lag. So I got rid of the animated textures and lag is fixed. Now there is a way to have kind of animated textures. There is another mod that kind of helps with that. I might look into that and see if we can get that working with this pack, but I don't know if I will or not. I might just live with, you know, no animated textures. But let's get into it today. So first things first, let's start looking at making some machines and some power storage. Now, as it comes from, like, you know, transferring powers, there is a lot of options we can use. Energy cables from, let's see, energy conduits from Ender.io are always an option, but they're kind of annoying to make because of the conduit binder. And we'll probably end up using those later, but for now, early game, that's really kind of not something I want to do. Mekanism has some good ones, and then we always have flux ducts. That will work as well. Just normal flux ducts. And what are the Mekanism ones? They're basic universal cables. Those require steel, but are actually pretty good. So pretty much the first thing we need to do, Mekanism requires a lot of steel. And so, for example, we need a steel casing, which requires steel, and osmium. Osmium is the other thing we need. Now, do we have some osmium? We do. And so let's get a couple blocks of osmium cooking up. And the other thing we're going to need, let's see, we're going to need iron, redstone, osmium. We're going to need a little bit of copper, gold, and nickel. So let's get copper, Gold. We don't have that much gold, so we're going to go just 1 on that. And nickel, which the nickel is going to be turned right into something else, so we won't worry about that too much either. So let's get to smelting a little bit. And yeah, the osmium and the copper can go in all at once, and that'll be fine. Shouldn't take too long. Now, while we're kind of waiting, let's go ahead and make, let's see, we are at Y level 90. We're going to need a lot of things. So let's do something along the lines of, just keep 33, I guess. Let's do something along the lines of that many sticks and ladders. So a little over a stack. So while we're waiting on this, I guess let's come into the corner right over here, and we'll start laddering up. Now, I don't know much about what the the mining dimension is going to be like, but we're going to just head there and see what we can see. It is a quest, and it is something we need to do at some point regardless, so might as well. But yeah, we need to get a lot of things kind of started, mostly so that we can start getting into, you know, I want to start a machine room so that we can start getting power, so that we can start getting into storage options and automation, just kind of very basic stuff. And then once we do that, we'll probably do chickens and cows and agriculture stuff to get mass quantities of resources. And then we can always, you know, if we want to take a break, we can do some Thaumcraft, we can do some, I'll have to look and see what all we need to do in terms of the creative items. Ladders, you go fast, by the way. The creative items, we'll have to see what all we can get into with that. Also, there is like red dots, and I think it shows the darkness, but it's really weird. But yeah, so there's a lot of different things to kind of get into, and so kind of the idea is, for right now, I'm gonna put these rooms like 20 blocks away, and then we'll make them what we want later. Because I need to kind of figure out this central room and how big it needs to be. It is going to be circular because why not? But you know, just how big it needs to be, I'm not entirely sure yet. So I guess let's go ahead and keep climbing, and eventually we'll get to the top. But yeah, the main thing that we need to just kind of focus on right now is what I kind of want to get towards is the storage center, which is going to be, because we're going to have a lot of fluid stuff, we're going to use Applied Energistics in this mod pack. Applied Energistics has a lot of really cool things with fluid storage and manipulation and all that kind of stuff. So that is going to make my life a lot easier. And so we can just, rather than having to do anything special with the cows, for example, we just put it into a fluid importer and call it a day. So we're going to make a single gold ingot. That is next on the list. Actually, don't we have... No, we never made gold. We have copper and osmium. And then we're going to use a little bit of nickel. I guess we can go ahead and smelt that up while we're waiting on the gold, which we should get 2 ingots of gold, by the way. But the nickel will add... What is the ratio for Invar? Invar is... alloying, it is 2 to 1 gives you 3. So if we have 6... we need 12 iron. And no, we need a lot more. So we're gonna kind of deal with the nickel a little bit easier. Not do too much kind of complicated things. That is a lag spike. There we go. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and take a block out, and then we need 6 ingots of iron. I think that is perfect. So this will make 3. It is a 2 to 1 ratio, and then we'll see how much invar we have and go from there. If we need to make more, we can. So let's go ahead and climb up here, continue our little ladder to the mining dimension, and eventually we'll get there. Now this path that we're taking, this ladder, we can always deconstruct it if we so choose. Eventually we'll probably have like teleporters, but I've also thought of doing like a staircase to the top of the world, aka the mining dimension. But I don't know. I'm still kind of in the air about a lot of decisions with that. Kind of what I want the base to look like and whatnot. But there is a lot of options, which is really nice. And we are going to try to be better about decorating the rooms and making things look a little bit better. Like I said, I was inspired by watching other people playing, and yeah, that would be kind of cool to have a really neat looking room. But for now, we just gotta kind of keep going. I do have more ladders. Let's go ahead and use the rest of our ladders, and then we can make our machines, and then we'll finish up our ladder to the mining dimension. So yeah, the plan is, once we have Applied Logistics up and running, we can do farming stuff and all that kind of fun stuff. We're going to change up how we do a lot of things from what we did in Stoneblock 1. I figure it's a little bit better to have a little bit of variety in mods and whatnot. There's some things that we're probably going to have to do fairly similarly, but for the most part, you know, if we want to, you know, something I'm not entirely sure is how we're going to get back. Does it make like a portal or something? Who knows? We'll find out. I probably won't want to take my hammer with me on our first little trip to the mining dimension. But anyways, this should be all good. We have exactly 1 block of invar. Perfect. Actually, that can stay. So what we're going to do is we're going to start making some machines. And the first thing we need to do is we need to make steel. And to make steel, we're going to need an induction smelter. So invar, a machine frame. Oh yeah, I forgot. We need tin. We also need tin. But tin should be nice and easy to get. It's also a fairly quick melting metal, low melting point. So it should go very quickly. I can turn that back on. Once the invar is... yeah, it's already melted. Once the invar is cooled, which is taking quite a bit of time, we can start working on this other stuff. So we are going to need a stone gear. So we're going to need some stone. Let's go ahead and just do 14. And I'll store the rest of that in there. So yeah, 10 is really quick to both smelt up, and it should be really quick to cool. And we don't need that much, so it's not that big of a deal. We can just let the other block sit there for now. Perfect. Alright, so do we have any more stone? No. Okay. So let's get into making the induction smelter. We're going to need a lot more stone than I realized. But that will... let's see, we need 12 stone? 13 stone? No, not 13 stone. Another set of stone. And then we also need some glass. We're going to need what? Just 4 glass. Do I have any? No, of course not. So we need a little bit of glass. We need a little bit of sand. We need a little bit of redstone. Let's go ahead and take the redstone. We have more than enough sand, so we just need to kind of start. See, 1, 2, 3, 4. Getting a little bit of glass. Grab our gold, osmium, copper, iron, and we can make the redstone reception coil. That's the first step. And then the machine frame is the next thing, but we need stone gears. Now, we could also make gears a couple other different ways. We could use a machine, including a metal press. We could cast them out. But this is probably going to be the easiest for right now, is just get some stone and make them. So there is the glass, and this will be 3 gears. The first one needs to be 10. We're going to need an invar, and then we're going to need 2 copper. But let's go ahead and get the machine frame. So that is easy enough. And we need 2 more stone. Of course. So once we have all the gears, we should be able to get plenty of stuff taken care of. Let's go ahead and make some more ladders. I did not mean to do it that way. I meant to just even them out. What is it called? Balance the grid. Okay, so we make another stone gear, and then we need copper gears, and this will give us the induction smelter. Now, the induction smelter is going to allow us to make steel. We need steel. We also need to make something else, which we can probably do over here. But let's just turn all configuration off. We're going to throw in a bunch of coal, and that's going to start making power. This is going to start charging up. And to get steel, which we're going to need at least 4, we could use charcoal and the stone hammer, which is hardened stone, which is kind of complicated. Or we could just use, let's see, do we need a pulverizer? Looks like we do need a pulverizer. We need to pulverize the coal. So that is the next thing we need to make. I forgot about that part. So we're going to need to make a pulverizer. That's going to require a piston. Nothing too difficult there. 2 more copper gears and another machine frame. So we just need more stone. Let's go ahead and melt up a bunch of stone. Like an entire stack. And then we're going to need a little bit more sand. So I guess we're going to have to hammer down some. Whoops. But that's not a big deal. So let's go ahead and grab 9 stacks of cobblestone. Compress it. And I'm not gonna hammer out all of this. We're just gonna do like a few. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And this will give us dirt. Let's just get this hammered down. Dirt turns into compressed dirt. And one last time. So this is how you get a lot of, well, sand, for example. And let's go ahead and smelt up 18. Sure, why not? Okay. So we're going to need a piston. So we need a pulverizer. That is the other thing. I forgot we do need to use crushed sand. So a piston. We're going to need another redstone reception coil. Luckily we have enough. And can we also go ahead and make a metallurgic infuser? Now this is a Mekanism machine, and we're going to need to use this to make some other things. So let's put this here. It's going to gain power. We're going to put let's see, how much do we need? We're going to need some flint as well. So we need 2 of those. So we need 4. So 4 redstone in there and 4 iron will give us something really cool, which we'll come back to in a little bit. So do we have a good bit of stone? We do. I think that is enough for the pulverizer. We need 10 and copper. And then we can make the machine frame with the glass. And I think that's everything we need for the pulverizer. It is. So now we can go place this down. Trying to combine my words. And we need to grab a little bit of coal and start pulverizing that. So that should not take too long. And then we're going to need a total of 4 steel. Do we have enough? Oh wow, we're going to need a lot more gold. I didn't notice that part. So, pulverized coal. I believe it's every 4. Gives us 1. So that's going to be exactly what we need. Now we need more gold. And we're going to need 6 gold. So we're going to need a little bit more. We get gold from dust at a decent chance. And sand. So dust is what, a 10% chance? And sand for iron is a 10% chance. So I do have a good bit of dust. We can quickly sift some dust and get some gold, hopefully. And then we will be able to do everything else. Now, I still don't know why there's like a red dot. Is that like just the item? Oh, it's showing me where items are. Okay. So this will be done in just a moment, and then we'll be able to hopefully grab all the gold. I can't even grab the gold. Alright, so I think we could just go with that. I'll put the dust away. And that is 6 gold. Blaze powder. Most of the stuff can be put away. Okay. Oops. Forgot about the silver. And the cobblestone. Alright, so let's go ahead and finish making the steel. The sulfur can go in there, I guess. And let's go ahead and make the rest of the gold we need. And not copper. We need a little bit more glass. Okay. So at this point, what do we need? We need 4 redstone. Everything else can go away. No, we need more. Let's put the stone away. We need 8 more redstone. We need 2 iron. So I am going to need more iron. Wow. We're going to need 4 glass, 1 osmium, and let's go ahead and go get that iron. Now, I'm not sure if the iron and... See, we don't need any more sand right now. Let's see. Let's just get 1 chunk of iron. Now, I don't know if gold and iron is going to mix. That is a possibility in some mod packs. But nickel, no. It's not a possibility in this one. So we can go ahead and smelt up the iron. And we'll get all the gold out. So I think that's pretty much it. So we need 4 glass and an osmium. And then we need our steel and enriched alloys. So the enriched alloys are here. and the steel. So that's what the energetic infuser makes, is enriched alloys. Now, we're also going to want to make some more steel. I'll probably do that between episodes, but we can make our first steel casing. And then we just need a couple more things. We're going to need enriched alloys, and then gold. And this is going to take a little bit of time just to get all the gold out. But yeah, once we have a little bit more stuff, we can start storing power. And with power storage, we can do a lot more fun stuff. So that should be the energy tablets. And then all we need is one more piece of iron. And there it is. So that is the basic energy cube. Let's go ahead and get that last piece of iron out. And we can set this up. So we just put this right here. And it will suck up all of the power from the generator. Can I still hit the generator? No. So I'm going to have to move these machines around. And, you know, that brings up a good point. I can't just pick them up. I might be able to, but usually you can't. We're going to want to get a tool to do that. And I think a Crescent Hammer is going to be the easiest. That is 3 iron and 2 tin. So we'll have to smelt up another piece of iron, but that's not an issue. And that should allow us to move stuff. So let's get going back up to the mining dimension, or at least continue our way. I don't know how this works. I will be perfectly honest. When we get up to the top, we can look at our quest book. It says visit the mining dimension. Overworld has no ores. Only way to find ores is to dig your way up to the top of the overworld and be teleported to the mining dimension that's full of ores. So I don't know how this is going to work, but basically when I see daylight, which it should be at like 2 something, I can never remember what the top of the world is. Exactly, it's like 250-ish or 230 or something like that. So whenever we see light, we will head back down. I want to drop off pretty much everything and then see what the mining dimension, well, what it has. So yeah, we're gonna need to make a Crescent Hammer just to hopefully be able to move the machines, and that's going to be important because once I can get a little bit more steel, we can make power cables. We saw the recipe for that. That is something I will be making, basic universal cables. These are probably going to be the best thing for us right now, and the recipe is simple enough that I'm going to do that off camera, kind of set up some power, and then eventually we'll need to get into a couple other mods. Well, one other mod, I should say, to make things a little bit nicer for us, and that is Flux Networks, I do believe, and I think that is in this mod pack. But something that we struggled in Stoneblock 1 was power storage, and specifically like in-game power storage. And I said in that series that, you know, it's not worth it to me to make a Draconic Evolution power storage thing. That has changed. We're going to make one of those this season, in this series, I guess, for the sequel. And I don't know what tier we're going to be making. I don't think we're going to make the max tier, because the max tier of the Draconic Evolution power storage is kind of insane. But we're going to make one at the very least. That's halfway decent. And we're going to probably try to do that as early as possible. And so a lot of our technology stuff is going to be, a lot of our power and power transfer is probably going to be related to Draconic Evolution, just because it makes the most sense. Now let's go back down, let's make the Crescent Hammer, show that we can actually move machines, and I want to see if we can move more than just the one, the pulverizers, the thermal expansion, or thermal whatever they're called nowadays. So we'll make a Crescent Hammer. I'm going to do a lot of sifting between episodes, but the Crescent Hammer is super duper important. So we can move that guy, no problem. It is thermal expansion. Okay. Can we move? We can move these. Move this. Can't move the generator, but I think the generator is just a pickaxe. So, yeah, that's pretty much everything for right now. So I'm gonna just throw the pulverizer in there. I'm gonna set up some better automation, I guess. Actually, we can switch these out. We can pull that one out. We can pick this guy up. So pulverizer, generator goes there, storage there, and side config. See, input, output on the sides, and on the front should be fine. And then we can just throw in, I don't know, half a stack of this, and it should work just fine. We can throw in some more coal in here to power things up. And then, yeah, that'll work. So let's go ahead, and I'm going to leave the hammer at the very least, some of my food, my bucket, Crescent Hammer, just kind of stuff that I definitely don't need. And let's head on up. Shouldn't need that many more ladders. But let's go ahead and head on up to the mining dimension, if we can get up there. Now, it might be dangerous here. I don't know. I don't have a weapon, other than, I guess, technically an axe. But, yeah, we're going to see what happens, and you know, this could be disastrous, but probably not. It would probably warn us if there was something that we needed to know to get back. But we're pretty much there. So, more ladders. And I think it's like 50 something. So it shouldn't take too much longer. Apologies that this episode has been a lot of digging. But I kind of wanted to... I wanted to do this, and I kind of didn't want to leave you guys, you know, on the off-camera, you know, setting or anything like that. But I don't know what I'm saying. Yeah, I figured it'd be nice to kind of experience this together, because I have no idea what's going to happen when we get to the top. That is bedrock. Okay. Okay, so you run into the bedrock and you go to the mining dimension. Makes sense. Now, what kind of mining dimension is this? First of all, it's one that doesn't want to load. And it is one where we're at the bottom of the world. Okay. So let's dig a little bit of a... something like that. And I bet if we go... Yep. So, that explains the mining dimension. I will not have you guys suffer me going through, you know, digging my way out of the mining dimension. If there is even a top to it. So I will probably explore that a little bit off camera. And yeah, that is going to be it for today. So we got a good bit of things done. But we definitely need to do a lot more stuff. So the plan is for this. I'm going to make some more steel and get some power cables. We'll work with that next time. And the plan is to start working towards an applied energistic system. It's going to take some while. It's going to take a while to get to that point and to like fully make it, but we can start working towards it. So that's the plan. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!